No, UA always tells us to have a plus ultra attitude, but they never said anything about applying that to cake baking. Hi! So I saw a really cute idea that I really wanted to make online the other day, and that is these cute little frog cakes. We're getting to go home over the holidays now to go back and see our families for a little bit, and I thought it would be a really cute idea to be able to bring my Froggy family a little froggy cake. However, I've never really done much baking before. Sato helped me make the cake, which is in here, and he's lent me some of his stuff so that I can try and decorate it. I really don't know how well it'll turn out, but we're gonna try and attempt it anyway. At the very least, at least it'll taste good. Largely because Sato did make it, I more just watched instead of actually helped. Apparently he was worried about the whole mucus thing, which is understandable. So I say we just try and get into it. First, we're gonna take the cake and put it on fancy spinny thing. It smells so good. It's definitely gonna taste good no matter what. I'm gonna take out, okay, I should wash my hands first. Yeah, momentary hand washing. Clean hands. Okay. Oh, it's stuck. So now we have our cake.
Wow.
So my plan is we're gonna have, this is kind of made a perfect circle for what I'm gonna do. So we're gonna have like a little pond in the middle, and then the rest is gonna be green. But you got two little frogs that can sit beside the pond. Let me show you what I've put together for the frogs though. So the initial idea was that you make the frogs out of like a little cake pop, which makes sense until cake pops look like a mushy mess. So then I left the other one just as a little cupcake, and hopefully we can make it look somewhat like a frog. I'm hoping my froggy senses will give me a little indicator on what to do with the decorating. But I think we should make the little pond first. And so now I am armed. I don't know how much to use for a pond. We have our blue. My hands are definitely not going to be coming out of this clean. Alright. This is going to be a very vibrant pond. I dyed this blue. Most ponds are kind of murky green. That's because of a lot of pollution. Because people suck. Glove this onto the middle. Then we take this flat spatula and we begin to spread it. I'm aware that there's something you're supposed to do called a crumb coat, and I'm now beginning to understand as all of the crumbs are coming off in the icing. But I'm kind of busy being a pro hero and all, so I decided to skip the crumb coat step. Okay, this is forming a nice little circle. It can be sitting by a very large pond, which in frog equivalent is like owning a mansion. It is a little bit messy, but I think that makes it look a bit better. So the next thing I'm gonna add is a whole bunch of green all around there. And hopefully it doesn't swirl with the blue too much. But there's a chance that it might. No one ever told me baking was so messy. It's okay if you have leftover icing, because then you can just... Now I'm gonna look like a blue-tongued lizard. And now we get to use my favorite color. A nice leaf green icing. Oop. Get on. Get. Ah. I don't know how pond-like all of this is looking. Because the way it's going now, it kind of looks like off-brand Mike Wazowski. Let's just keep going. At least this isn't going to the class, because the class is used to Sato's level of baking, which is nowhere near my level of baking. And he would make this cake and make it with 7 tiers and actual live frogs, so The sides are getting a little bit messy. I think the sides are where all of the crumbs were hiding. Now it just looks like actual grass because it's got dirt in it. See, some may go for decorative and pretty good looking. I am going for realism. Whoops. It's really yummy. I've made a much nicer looking green, but now it's not going to match the other green. Oh. I worked out why it wasn't dying, right? All of the green dye is at the top of the spoon. Here is the cake so far. I think it looks very natural and very cute, except when you look at it from the top and it just looks like the Jacksepticeye logo. I think once we add some frogs on there, it'll look great. So speaking of frogs, I think it is time we give this frog mansion some residence. I really don't have too much of a plan about how to go into this, although I'm starting to think we might end up with just one frog considering how fragile this thing is. But now I'm thinking to make it a frog like, I'm gonna do this. This may turn out to be a complete disaster. Now he's got a little open frog mouth. We gotta pick which side looks the best to be the front. Definitely not this side. We can sit. There, it's not looking like much right now. But in a couple of minutes, it'll end up looking like something. You've got icing on you now. Now it looks like a little monster with a green hairdo. Now I'm running out of ways to hold it without getting the icing all over me. You know, UA always tells us to have a plus ultra attitude, but they never said anything about applying that to cake baking. He might end up being a bit of a blue frog, but that's okay. Frogs come in all sorts of shapes and colors, including like a nightmare. Now we gotta get in the mouth. And to do that, we're just gonna get a whole glob of icing and feed him.
What is that?
I'm really not sure if he's improving or getting worse at this point. It looks like something. I told you it would look like something. It'll end up looking like something. Maybe if we just add on some little details. Pretending that that never happened. He's not looking like a frog. Also did give me proper piping bags, but I think for what I need to do, this is probably gonna work better. In conclusion, it did not help. He's a very mean frog. He looks like he's been in some street fights. This looks like who my villain arch nemesis will turn out to be. So I'm gonna see if I can add either these little beads or some stars for eyes. I don't know how much that will help. Unless I just had a big brain thought. Maybe I can use food coloring to add some little detail. Oh. I kind of dipped the whole thing in there. I didn't mean to. He he's got a mouth now. I might try and get some of these white balls to use as his pupils so that he has another distinguishing feature. How's he looking? Because I know at this point I can't really make it any worse, I'm gonna give him a little star sprinkle like tie. Oops. Now he's got fashion. These things are gonna be the most acceptable looking thing on the cake. I've done a lot of difficult things in my life, including taking down villains and arresting criminals and stopping hijackings. This may have been the most difficult, but here he is. I think the bees are nice, and I think it's gonna taste good. The frog looks like he's been through the war. And now with my very sticky hands, I present to you my attempt at a frog cake. Mr. Creepy Frog ominously looking on in the background, that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you guys at least enjoyed me attempting to decorate this cake, even if it didn't turn out nice like Sacho's would have. If you did enjoy the video, you can like the video and that will help support me in my pro hero career, as well as subscribing to the channel. I might just appear on here again. And with that now, I'm going to go actually eat some of this cake. Ribbit. This is actually a really good cake.